Rocco Welsh, why would he join Penn State when it is crowded? When Zach Ryder seems like the logical solution at 184 and he has 4 years of eligibility. Josh Barr, that it's on the table that he could cut weight, that he could go down to 184. Maybe the answer isn't Zach Ryder. And then Connor Mirasola steps up at 197. Cole Mirasola, twin brother, slides in at heavyweight. Penn State has simple solutions, that as what it seems. But Rocco Welsh isn't necessarily joining Penn State just for the collegiate lineup. This is about training with the best of the best. This is about getting the best coaching possible. This is about being pushed to your limits every single day. That Rocco Welsh is willing to risk his short-term future for benefits to the long-term future. This is about training competitions, getting to be a part, getting to train, to scrap with the elite wrestlers. Rocco Welsh is also from the state of Pennsylvania, for anybody that didn't know. So there's this hometown, home area aspect of it, be closer to family. I have to imagine, again, there's no official report, but with what people were alluding to, this is something that people have been talking about, that, hey, Rocco Welsh might jump into the transfer portal. This all the way back in December of 2024. That's when that was put out there. So there had to be some frustration built up from the way that the situation was handled at Ohio State, that they told him to redshirt. Maybe he didn't necessarily want to redshirt. And then all of this kind of snowballs into what it is. But it's more importantly, it's the same thing. Jaden James joining Penn State and choosing them over Oklahoma State. Why? It is not about NIL. I can tell you that much. I will say what does play an effect in all of this, if you want to talk about financially speaking, Penn State's throwing NIL left and right, left and right. That's not what it's about. And Cael Sanderson has gone on the record and said, we are not going to spend money to buy wrestlers. We are not going to bully other institutions with NIL dollars. If there isn't a connection, if somebody doesn't want to be here, we're not going to go out and spend unnecessary amounts of money to get them. They have to want to be here. So that's just it. They want to be here. But the scholarship increase is something that's important. Penn State, not too long ago, other wrestlers went to other institutions because there was a scholarship available for them. So if you want to make the financial argument, you do have, there is some justification to it. There is some legitimacy to that argument, is that beforehand, you had to pay your way through school. There were 9.9 scholarships. Now Penn State has 20. That's what Cael Sanderson said. That's what Cael said in a media availability, that they're probably going to have around, give or take, 20 scholarships. I'm paraphrasing, but the number's 20, with the possibility that they could go 30. Maybe it's 20 right now, but the NCAA allots for 20. You can go to 21. You can go to 22. That's a couple more scholarships. That's another talented wrestler getting a free education, free room and board, their university expenses paid for. Oh, and then they get to train along the aside the best of the best, get the best coaches somewhere there. That it's a premium. People want to be at Penn State, and you have all of that taken care of now. But in the past, you had to make a decision. Do I want to go to a university, make sure that, hey, I can have these expenses taken care of? Wrestlers can still make NIL. You can still make NIL at Penn State. This isn't, it's an all or nothing thing that Penn State's throwing out massive amounts of NIL dollars, but they're not making any NIL money either. That's on your time. That's how you want it. You are your own entrepreneur, your own business. If you want to make NIL, you can at Penn State, and that's part of it. That's the brand. It's the winning culture. Penn State is winning. People see 10 out of 10 All-Americans. People see team title after team title. Wrestlers go off and make a career in UFC, MMA, WWE, freestyle. Aaron Brooks going to the Olympics. Kyle Snyder, Kyle Dake. Where are they all at? Penn State. So that's what everybody's seeing. And they're willing to take a chance on that to potentially sacrifice a spot. It's for the sake of the competition. Rocco Welsh, and if Zach Ryder sticks around, he could go in the portal. He doesn't have to. They could compete and battle for 184. It's not just about the collegiate lineup. Let's go to the live chat. I promised we'd go to the live chat. Poor Ohio State, they are losing a star. Indeed, just based on the rumors, they should have done, there were things that they could have done to retain Rocco Welsh. They could have made it worth his while in terms of how they handled the redshirt situation. Doesn't seem like that went all according to plan there. He's a traitor. Starachi was right. If we're talking about David Taylor, hey, look, he's at Oklahoma State. What is he supposed to say? Well, we'll be good, but not good enough to catch Penn State. So you're not technically you're not wrong. He is a traitor because he's going up against Penn State, but that's why Oklahoma State paid him. That's his job. That it really is his job. Cael is a mastermind, and the other teams are left playing catch up. All things are equal. Oklahoma State and Iowa are going to spend the same amount of money financially to prop up their wrestling programs, and the competition is getting better. The competition is getting better, but so is Penn State. How's Penn State able to do that? Cael knows what he's doing, and he will figure it out with Welsh and Ryder. Absolutely. If we want to project a possible solution, this logically makes sense. Rocco Welsh gives you a national title contender at 184, but I'm not ruling out a Zach Ryder wrestle off where he wins in that hypothetical scenario. They're not far apart. There's not much that separates them. But Rocco Welsh, with that redshirt season now under his belt, is closer, I think, to a national title, especially after being a national runner-up in his freshman season at Ohio State, losing to Carter Starachi 2-0. 2-0 in the 174-pound final. I think he's closer to a title contender than Zach Ryder, but this is just a one-year solution. Levi Haynes leaves at 174. What if it's Rocco Welsh at 184 and Zach Ryder at 174? These wrestlers know what they signed up for. They're not scared of the competition. They are not scared of the competition. They know what they signed up for. They know what's going on here, that nothing's guaranteed, but they crave the competition. They want the competition. And David Taylor is trying to do something like that. He is trying to make it that way. And he's taking the right steps to do that for Oklahoma State's sake. Okay? Objectively speaking, he's doing the best he can. He's on the right track. He's on the right track to make this more of a tune team race. I don't know what Iowa's plan is. I really don't. They'll go into the transfer portal, but David Taylor is building the same foundation and the fundamentals that Penn State lives off of, that Cael Sanderson lives off of, because David Taylor is an extension of what Penn State wrestling has been over the better part of a decade.